Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video we're going to be talking about the most popular topic nowadays is emergency food storage. Are you prepared? Do you have at least 2 months of food set back for your family? Or what if you have a job loss? What if there's bad weather? Are you prepared? Do you have food stocked up for your family? So today's video is going to be all about dry food storage, emergency food storage, prepper pantry. There's many names for it, but it seems like a very popular topic nowadays. And y'all already know, if you've been here a while, I'm a true believer in stocking up. I started this, as you see, I started it last year when I was working. I worked outside of the home majority of the time last year, and I just made it a point to start stocking up for my family. If we are a family of 3, it is myself, my husband, and then we have a 6-year-old and we have a dog. So if you count the dog, there's 4 of us, but y'all know he don't eat human food, well, most of the time. But anyways, it is very important to have it stock up for your family. It doesn't matter if it is long-term, short-term, if it is like the number 10 cans or just regular food like I have. It is very, very important. You never know when you're gonna have a job loss, when there's gonna be bad weather, especially if you're in an area that's prone to bad weather. And with what's going on in this world, the day and time, it's not a bad idea, honestly. I have been preaching this for a while now, and it's really something that we are really buckling down and getting stock. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going out and spending $200 and $300 at a time and just stocking up food. I am doing it on a budget, still doing it as if we were doing it a year ago, but we are buckling down, spending a little bit more each week to stock up and have food for in case of emergencies. Now, what you see behind me, this is all just our dry food storage. We also have a deep freeze, we have a freezer, a fridge, and then we have an everyday pantry in the kitchen area. But for the most part, this is like my baby. This is my main priority. Of course, we do have freezer stock, but in case of an emergency, what if the power goes out? This is gonna become your go-to. Canned foods, boxed items, stuff that you can cook quickly, or stuff that's even like already prepared and you just have to heat up, because you never know what if you lose electricity, what if you don't have any running water. You got to think outside the box and think of all those options. I have shared a bunch of information about dry food storage, prepper pantry in previous videos. I will have those linked to those in the description box below in case you want to go back, kind of recap on the things that I have already talked about, expiration dates and all that good stuff. But I thought I would kind of do a recap and preach a little more about how important it is for food storage. Like I said a second ago, I really, I'm hoping that nothing's gonna happen, but prices are starting to go up on food. If you haven't noticed, I've noticed because I'm in the grocery all the time. Food prices are going up and there's shortages happening. Within the past few weeks of us going to Kroger and Walmart and stuff, I have really noticed that a lot of stuff that's normally on the shelves is not there. They are low on a lot of things. And so that's one of the things I was like, I'm so glad that we have the food that we have, because something's gonna happen. And if it doesn't, that's great. That is amazing. But just in case, my family is going to be prepared, and I really hope that you take into consideration and prep for your family also. So this, if you're new here, this I had started building, like I'd say about a year and a half ago. And my main thing was I wanted to stock up for my family, but I didn't want to just go out and blow a bunch of money when we don't have that. So I wanted to do it realistically. And so I came up with this $5 stock up challenge, and I shared it previously, but I came up with a sheet and everything. Hold on, let me find the sheet. Okay, here is one of the ones. So I have an Etsy shop and it's always linked down below, but in that Etsy shop you will find one of these, this printable linked in my shop. But this is the $5 stock up challenge. You stock up for your family only for $5 a week. Or if you go bi-weekly, then say $10. But this is based off of $5 every week. So I started this a while back, and this one already has suggested items, but I do have one. When you purchase this set, you get the suggested items and you get a blank one where you can fill it out yourself, because it's very important to shop what you eat. Don't buy a bunch of food that you know your family's not going to eat, because then it's just going to go to waste. And even though I have all this, we use it. We rotate it. All of this is still in date, which a previous video I talked about expiration dates. Y'all will find that link in the description box. But we rotate our food. So yes, that times are getting hard. Stuff's getting harder to find. So if you're starting now, that's amazing. I would definitely consider starting now. I don't know, y'all. I just have this feeling. Luke's have this feeling, and with things going on right now, I don't know. I'm just hoping and praying that nothing's going to. But in case, I know my family is somewhat prepared. We're still doing it every week. From the $5 stock up, we have upped ours to $10 a week. But the whole concept of the $5 a week, like I said, is you only go, when you go to your grocery store, you buy, say, $5 worth of cereal, or $5 worth of mac and cheese, $5 worth of corn each week. And that's going to build your stock up, and you're doing it on a budget. You don't have to go out and hoard and stock up for $300. Now, of course, if you can afford it now, do a little bit extra just in case. But if you're not worried about it and you just want to have a stock up for your family in general, I highly recommend checking the link in the description box for the Etsy shop. Get your $5 stock up going and get it going, because look, you can have all this, all of this. Look at the water, and I have some over there too. You could have all of this. After that year is based off of a whole, or this stock up is based off a whole year. So that's you spending $5 each week for a whole year long, and you get all of your amazing stock up. So shop what your family is going to eat. Don't buy a bunch of random stuff you know your family's not going to have. Even though it's a case of an emergency and you might eat this or might eat that, still buy stuff that you know your family is going to eat. If you're spending the money, buy what you know they're gonna eat. Even if it's a case of emergency and you eat cereal for every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, at least it's something that your family is going to eat. Here soon, I'm going to be having some upcoming videos of meals that I base off of my dry food storage. But I'm gonna be trying to really get in and set in stone in my head, okay, what if this is an emergency? What meals can I make from this? I have sat down, made a list of meals based off what I had in the house, but that did include my freezer items and fridge items. So the upcoming videos that I want to do is only based off of the Prepper Pantry. So y'all stay tuned for that if you are interested in that. If you have any other questions other than what I've shared in previous videos, definitely let me know in the comments down below. So every time I go to the store, like I said, we've upped ours to $10 a week. So I try to spend $10 or a little more, just depending on how our budget is that week, to stuff to stock up. We do have an everyday pantry, like I shared, and I rotate the food within the everyday pantry because I use it first, and we rotate and pull from here, and then what I buy at the store we put in here, if that makes sense. So food is constantly rotating. We're constantly eating it, and it's not just sitting in here and gonna go bad. And I have all of this here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shelves total, 6 actually, because there's one over here, and then we have water at the bottom. We definitely need more water, but this is what we have for now. Like I said, even though I'm really trying to buckle down and prepare, I'm not going to go out and spend a couple $100 just to stock up. I personally don't like that. And when time comes, I'm not going to go do that either, because we do have this and there's other people out there that don't have stock up, because this is, even though it's very popular right now, it's not something that a lot of people have, and I really feel like they should. I definitely feel like it doesn't matter your family size. I've talked about that before. It doesn't matter if you're a single person or if you have a family of 10. You need to stock up. At least have 2 months, at least 2 months worth of meals. And that doesn't matter if it's a can of tuna. It doesn't have to be full course meals, but I really feel like you need at least 2 months worth of meals stocked up. I talked about in a previous video on how to store it. If you don't have an option where you can have a shelf, you can use totes. You can have a tote to roll under your bed. You can have totes in your closet. You can find room somewhere, because you got to think, in case of emergency, you're going to want some food. So if you have to look at a tote in the corner full of food, then that's totally fine with me. Because you have food, you're prepared. It's not going to matter. You're not going to have anybody over. You're focusing on yourself and your family. So it doesn't matter if it's an eyesore sitting in the corner. At least you know that you have food for your family. One of the things that I have also been gonna work on getting, I make lists, but besides getting more water, I do want to get more like guilty pleasure items. So in case we are in an emergency and we're locked in the house with no running water, no electricity or anything, we're kind of in, we'll be in like survival mode. So even though we have all this is based off meals. So you kind of want the good things, especially if you have kids. You want to think about some guilty pleasures that you and your kiddos can enjoy in those hard times. So it's not like strict, like, okay, this is all we have to eat, so this is it. You don't get anything, sweet or like a sweet treat or like, so I'm going to start getting some of our guilty pleasure items, stuff that we enjoy, just to kind of break up the prepper pantry. You know what I'm saying? So like we can have snacky items also. Like we do have some cereal bars up here for Winston, but other than that, it's mainly just food items, like meal items. We have juice, but we don't have any like, say like Debbie cakes or chips or, like kind of like cookies, kind of stuff like that. And even though that stuff doesn't have a long shelf life, you can buy one and then say you decide to open it, just make sure you write it down and replenish it. It doesn't have to sit in here and not be used, just rotate it out. But at least when time comes, you have some guilty pleasures that you and your family can enjoy when you're in an emergency situation and, kind of like that. So I have bought quite a few things since my last video. So besides us spending $10 a week on stock up items, if I go to like Dollar Tree or if I run into Walmart or something like that, like throughout the week, I try to pick up 1 or 2 things to just throw in here. And so I'm going to share a couple of those with you today, a couple that I have picked up at Dollar Tree, really, really cheap at Dollar Tree. If you can find like full-size boxes at Dollar Tree, name brand at Dollar Tree, it's definitely worth it. So whenever I see those items, I definitely try to pick those up. So I'm going to share a few new items with you guys today. The last video I did, I showed like more in depth. So of course those are linked down below, but I'll share a few new items with you guys today. Okay, so here's kind of an overview. Like I said, we're on the floor now. I've got these 2 new shelves. We definitely need more water. We have the 2 cases, and then we have all those. We've got 6 gallons of water total. And this blue bucket right here has got flour in it. I have started getting dog food. That's not something that I count in the prepper pantry, but somebody actually brought it up in a recent video, like, what about the dog? And honestly, I didn't think about it because it's just not something that I think about in sense of dry foods. He always has a huge bag of food, we always keep it on hand, so it's not like we will run out. And he also can have canned vegetables. We can cook him, like he can have canned chicken, he can have canned green beans and pumpkin and like stuff like that. Like, so in case we do run out of dog food, he has options within our prepper pantry of stuff he can eat. But I have picked up a couple dog foods here just to have on hand in case. I did find these at the Dollar Tree, and that's a really good deal compared to buying these at Kroger. Let's see. What are some other things that I picked up at the Dollar Tree? Here are 2 cans of smoked ham. Also picked these up at the Dollar Tree. This was a very good deal. I plan on having these in some pinto beans. I want to see how that is. I do have ham hocks in the freezer, but like I said, upcoming videos, I'm going to focus on prepper pantry only. So in case we don't have electricity, then, you know, I technically can't use that ham hock. So we're going to try these and see how they are. A random trip to Walmart, I picked up this diced ham. I'm curious on how it is compared to the other ham, because that's smoked shredded and this is diced. So I think this would be better for like a breakfast hash or something like that, like with potatoes or something. Winston's got toys over here. Something else I wanted to mention, last time in the last video, I got a couple comments about that this is not shelf stable. It is shelf stable. You purchase this on the shelf at Kroger or Walmart or wherever you buy it from. You have to put it in the fridge once it's opened. So it is shelf stable up until it's opened. The date on this is March of next year. So it has a pretty decent shelf life. So this to me is something very good to have, because you can make some homemade bread, have bacon and bread sandwiches, or, you know, throw these into any sort of meal and have some sort of protein. So those are shelf stable until you open them. I got a couple, I had a comment about that last time, so I wanted to remember to mention that. Couple other things that I picked up at Dollar Tree. I found these actually today. They had a ton of these, and these are like $2.50 to $3 at my Kroger. So I was very happy to find these. So this is perfect. You just have to heat this, and it actually comes with crackers on top. So that's perfect. And then technically you could have this too if you do like a bug out bag or something like that. This is a really good item to have to throw in your bug out bag to grab and go. Let's see what else we got. Always keep canned veggies. I picked these up recently at Walmart. I think I forgot to share those. Kroger didn't have them on a good sale, so I waited to go to Walmart, which this is kind of one of the things I talked about a second ago with the whole like pleasure food items, like guilty pleasures. Winston loves these. So I wanted to have something in here that I know in case, you know, we have something that he doesn't like. I know I can open up a can of SpaghettiOs and he'll be just peachy. So that is good. Another thing that I'm going to be working on getting is like water mixes, Gatorade. We do have lemonade back here, as you see. We've got some hot chocolate, but Kimmy She's in Her Apron actually brought that up. Like, it's good to kind of break it up. If you're in an emergency situation and you only have water, get some of those drink mixes, and it's going to kind of, you know, especially if you have kids, it's going to kind of break up the only water taste, you know, where you can have different flavors, have something for your kids to enjoy. Don't forget to always have spices. And I always try to keep salt, pepper, seasonings. I'm getting low on ranch and whatnot. I need to get stocked back up on that. But onion powder, garlic powder, any seasonings that you use on like a daily basis, always have an extra in your prepper pantry, so you're able to pull from it and you know, have it. You still want to season and flavor your food, even though it's all coming from cans. In emergency situation, you still want it to taste good. So don't forget seasonings. Let's see. I think all this stuff I've already talked about. You can find little condiments like this, which I feel like this is the perfect size. So if the electricity does go out, you have a smaller item to fit in a cooler, so you're not taking up a huge amount of space to keep stuff cold. So you can find the smaller condiments like this at the Dollar Tree. You can get ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise, all of those, and keep those on hand. And then these I had found, the cereal bars I had found on at Kroger also, or no, at Dollar Tree. I got those for $1, so that's something for Winston that he enjoys. And then most of the time I try my best to get my cereal on clearance or at Dollar Tree. If I can find full-size boxes of cereal at Dollar Tree, it is a killer deal. All those bags up there that you see, I got those for 25 cents a piece at Kroger. They were on markdown, they were discontinuing them, and they were 25 cents a piece. So I had to I grabbed all four. All four flavors. They had a ton, but I grabbed all four flavors. Ramen is really good to have for easy grab and go. All you gotta do is heat up some water and you have a meal. So I wanted to hop back in a second and say that I had talked about, in case electricity goes out, no running water or anything. So you can, a lot of people have generators. We are working on saving for a generator. They're pretty pricey. So we are working on saving for one of those. So that's why my main focus is on dry food. Of course, I do always like to keep freezer stock just for, every day to help us financially and whatnot. But in case of an emergency, we do want to base off of the prepper pantry. So we want to make sure we have enough food just within the prepper pantry in case we come into an emergency before we get the generator. And then you have to think too, if you have a generator, somehow you have to work that generator, keep that generator going. Some run off gas, some run off propane. And so in case of an emergency, what if you still run out of gas, or what if you run out of propane? So you have to think of that also. Just because you have a generator to keep certain items going within your house, how long will it last? How much gas do you have? How much propane do you have? Because you also can use propane to cook. It might be easier or better to keep your propane, for your grill or your little, the little pot stove thingies. I can't think of what they're called. The jet stoves or something. That might be a better option to keep your propane for that, where you can still cook for your family rather than worrying about, keeping your fridge going or your freezer going. And then another thing I wanted to mention, here we have a box of silverware. And one of the things I'm going to work on getting is paper goods, paper plates, paper bowls, paper cups, more silverware, because in case you don't have any running water, it's way easier just to use paper. You can burn it, all that. So I wanted to hop on and mention that also. And then I try to keep like baked goods, cake mixes. Applesauce is something always that is really good to have because you can use this in replacement of eggs. So like I said, with the whole just using prepper pantry items for upcoming videos, I can make a cake. I have oil in the other pantry and I have this. So if I had like a can of icing, I could make us a cake based off prepper pantry items, and it kind of breaks up. We have something delicious in kind of the middle of all that. So applesauce is always good to have. Dry milk, you can use that for recipes, anything like that. I have this for cooking, and then I have this for, us to have like cereal for Winston because he can't have regular milk. So I got those. And then we have, of course, the water at the bottom. So that is kind of a layout of everything we have. Like I said, if you have any questions, I just kind of wanted to do a little update, overview of everything, and just really preach to y'all how important it is to stock up. You don't have to have a huge stock up, and you don't have to have a bunch of space to stock up. Go buy a tote, put some food in it, put your favorite items in it. It's better to have something than nothing. So I'll leave you with that. I hope you enjoyed today's video, And I will see y'all in the next one. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. And I will see y'all later. Bye, guys.